If there's one storyline in the Seahawks secondary this season that has had everyone talking, it's Reek Woolen. And let me tell you, what he's done over the past month and a half has been nothing short of remarkable. This is a player who, early in the year, faced relentless criticism. Every mistake was magnified, every misstep dissected. Week 1 against the 49ers. A rough start. Woolen misread a route against Ricky Payal, a ball slipped through his hands, and suddenly a drive that could have been stopped turned into points for San Francisco. The fans erupted. The media erupted. Myself included, I didn't hold back. Tweets, comment sections, post-game analyses, you name it, Woolen was under fire. Calls to bench him, cut him, trade him, it all flew in fast and furious. And honestly, who could blame us? As fans, we expect excellence, and we don't forgive easily. But here's the twist. Instead of folding under the pressure, instead of letting the criticism dictate his season, Woolen fought hard. After the brutal outing in Week 1, he went silent off the field and let his play speak. And the results have been electric. Since that game against Houston, he has transformed into one of the Seahawks' most reliable defensive weapons. Coverage. Locked down. Tackling. Aggressive but smart. Play recognition. Next level. Woolen hasn't just improved, he's become indispensable. And let's be clear, this isn't just about stats or highlights. It's about mindset. Woolen could have quit. He could have checked out, mentally preparing for a 2026 free agency or trade scenario. Instead, he embraced the system, learned the nuances of Pete Carroll and Ken Norton Jr.'s schemes, and started to dominate in a way that reminds everyone why he was drafted in the first place. This is a cornerback not just surviving the NFL spotlight but thriving under it. The Seahawks now face a critical decision: do they do whatever it takes to keep Woolen beyond this season? If he keeps playing like this, there's no doubt the franchise needs him. And as fans, we owe it to him, not just applause, but respect. Respect for resilience, for commitment, for turning what could have been a season-defining failure into a narrative of redemption. Because here's the truth, the early season noise around Woolen, the whispers of trades, the criticism, the endless scrutiny, that was all part of the story. But now, the story has changed. The cornerback who was once on the brink of being shipped out is now the player others in the league have to game plan around. And if you've been part of the doubters, it's time to recalibrate. Reek Woolen isn't just back. He's making you notice. Early in the season, Reek Woolen looked like a player on the verge of being expendable. Critics were loud, and the stats didn't help his case. In his first 5 games, quarterbacks targeting him completed 13 of 18 passes for 183 yards and a touchdown. That's not just rough, it's glaring. Fans questioned his spot in the secondary, whispers of trades and cuts filled the air, and even seasoned analysts doubted his ability to recover. The narrative was clear: Reek Woolen was struggling, and maybe the Seahawks needed to move on. But what happened next was remarkable. After a short break due to a concussion, Woolen returned with a renewed focus. The mental toughness he displayed over the next several games was incredible. He didn't just play, he dominated. Plays that would have haunted him in August became textbook lockdown moments. He began to fit perfectly into Ken Norton Jr.'s system, reading routes with precision, staying patient, and shutting down receivers in ways that made opposing quarterbacks think twice. And the numbers back it up. Teams that once found success targeting him were now running into a brick wall. Since the turnaround, Woolen has faced 25 passes, completing only 10, for just 69 yards. 1 touchdown against Davante Adams. That was a jump ball Adams simply won, a catch most corners wouldn't have prevented either. Every other attempt has been met with deflection, disruption, or a missed opportunity for the opposing team. Woolen had transformed from a liability into a lockdown cornerback. The proof doesn't stop there. PFF's lockdown report, which measures how much separation receivers get against a defender, paints a stunning picture. Woolen now ranks among the elite, one of the most difficult corners in the NFL to beat one-on-one. The player who started the year under fire for giving up easy completions is now a nightmare for every receiver that lines up across from him. This is more than stats. It's a story of resilience, focus, and growth under pressure. Woolen faced criticism, injury, and doubt, and he came back stronger, mentally and physically. The Seahawks defense is better because of him, and the narrative has completely shifted. The cornerback who was once expendable is now essential, a player the team might regret letting walk in 2026 if they don't lock him down. Reek Woolen didn't just recover from early season struggles. He rewrote the storyline entirely. By week 12, the transformation was undeniable. Reek Woolen was no longer just improving, he was dominating. PFF's lockdown report tells the story in numbers that speak louder than words. Gardner leads the NFL, locking down receivers 73.7% of the time. But right behind him, Reek Woolen, at 65%. That means 2/3 of the time, quarterbacks dared not throw at him. Opposing receivers were stifled, targets were avoided, and plays that once would have been easy completions became impossible. This isn't luck. This is growth, focus, and resilience. Woolen's athleticism, once touted as potential, has become production. He has learned the system, internalized his responsibilities, and now thrives within Ken Norton Jr.'s scheme. Opponents can't exploit him, he's a lock on the field, a quarterback's nightmare. Behind him, PFF's report even highlights Kyle Hamilton at 61%, showing how elite this secondary has become, with Woolen now a cornerstone of that unit. Even in challenging matchups, like the Titans game, Woolen's dominance was clear. He minimized completions, made the correct reads, and stood strong while the Seahawks rotated their corners. What started as a shaky start for Woolen has evolved into a player who now defines stability and skill in the secondary. And now it's time for accountability, my own. Early in the season, I, like many others, doubted him. I criticized, I questioned, I even suggested the Seahawks move on. I was wrong. Woolen has earned not just the respect of fans, but the respect of the league. If John Schneider can find the right terms, bringing him back in 2026 isn't just smart, it's necessary. Paired with Devin Witherspoon, Woolen now gives the Seahawks a special combination, an elite corner on one side, a lockdown secondary on the other. Injuries made this year unpredictable, but Woolen stepped up, fixed mistakes, and became a reliable, game-changing presence. He's no longer a question mark, he's a cornerstone. Reek Woolen has fought through the noise, the criticism, and the early struggles to become one of the NFL's best second options at cornerback. Seahawks fans should not just be relieved, they should be excited. This is a player who embodies perseverance, talent, and elite-level performance. Reek Woolen is not just back, he's a force.